Alright, what is going on, everyone? First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here right now, watching this video. I do really appreciate you for your time, and I'd really appreciate if you do consider subscribing, because it truly does help me out a lot. Now, we're gonna be, diving into the problem with Khabib's team. You get what I mean? Most of them, I wouldn't say most of them, because I think Khabib does have a really big team. He works with a lot of people, but people who on the rise, on the come up, and even champions on other fight organizations have been caught. I think even one has been caught for drug use, which means steroid use, and they got busted. You get what I mean? And it's not looking good, man. And IslamMakhachev, we all know IslamMakhachev was not busted, but was not officially busted. But you get what I mean. They accused him of taking a rehydration clause, and I don't know what it was, but something illegal in the sport, something that can get you in deep trouble, and it counts as cheating. You get what I mean? But yeah, man, but at the end of the day, USADA is out the picture now. I'm pretty sure UFC doesn't have an official drug testing community or drug testing thing. I don't even know what to call it, but you get what I mean. Of course, people are going to be more open to steroid use and things like that in the UFC, simply because they can just now get away with it without any troubles. You get what I mean? Without any worries. You get what I mean, bro? If USADA was out the picture a long time ago, man, John Jones would just be on top of the world, man. But without further ado, let's just play the video.
Growing up in hard conditions and going through tough childhoods shaped them to become tougher than fighters from other parts of the world. Almost every Dagestani is thrown into the wrestling gym basically from the moment they were born, and that's why we see some of the world's best wrestlers come out of there. But that might not be the only reason why they are so good. Last couple of years, there have been multiple cases of anti-doping agencies busting them for performance-enhancing drugs, with the most recent one being Usman Nurmagomedov. For years, certain fighters have been pointing fingers at Khabib's team, claiming they are drug cheats, yet the public always denied the allegations. So does the Dagestani domination of the sport come from using prohibited substances, and can we prove they are cheating the system? Since coming on the scene,
Bro, my question is, if steroids are haram, right? Like, why do a lot of Dagestanis or even Muslims in general take it? You get what I mean? Even if it's not, you get what I mean? And even if it's not like a abusive amount, you get what I mean? It's like a healthy amount. They take it and it helps with their athleticism and whatnot. But bro, if it's haram, why are you even taking it? It's cheating. It counts as cheating at the end of the day, bro. If you're an athlete or not, it's still a drug. It counts as a drug. And if you abuse it, it can end you in the hospital, or, give you serious problems in the future. You get what I mean? So it is a drug and you shouldn't take it. But bro, I don't know, man. But let's keep going.
Painted a picture of themselves as being hard-working men, coming from humble beginnings with strong faith in Islam, avoiding the superficial pleasures of the world, and not participating in any activities that would go against their religion and beliefs. With Khabib Nurmagomedov as their leader, they are well respected throughout the MMA community for their incredible achievements in the last decade. So it does seem out of character for Khabib's teammates to have such controversy surrounding them. But sadly, it hasn't been an uncommon case for the team. They have had multiple fighters who had tested positive for banned substances. To date, there have been 4 such cases from the Khabib camp, with the list also including the current UFC lightweight champion IslamMakhachev, who in the end got cleared by USADA as the drug was allowed before 2016. Whereas the other 2, Ruslan Magomedov and Zubaira Tukhugov, weren't as lucky, and they were both handed 2-year suspensions dated to tests conducted in 2016. Magomedov was given a lifetime suspension after failing the 3rd anti-doping test by USADA, which ended his UFC career. Their aggregate success and rise on the scene aroused some suspicions from other fighters, with some of their rivals accusing them of practicing unfair and dishonest cheating. After Zubaira Tukhugov tested positive for ostarine back in 2019, Conor McGregor didn't shy away from calling out the whole Nurmagomedov camp for being cheaters. But most of the fans disregarded his accusation.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no personal idea of this, but like, bro, that is crazy. They're getting busted for steroid use. You know what I mean? And Conor McGregor can't even shy away himself. He's taking steroids. You get what I mean? He's been called out for taking steroids. But since he's the golden fish of the UFC, they value him so much. It's like they let him. They don't even let him take a drug test that back then. And he's the reason why. Pretty sure he's the reason why USADA is currently gone. You get what I mean? Because the UFC wanted him to fight, and he was getting held back for drug use purposes by USADA. You get what I mean? So yeah, man, clearly some new going on at his hand too, because bro, can't be a hypocrite calling other people out for what you've also done.
Accusations of others in the camp using steroids as they thought McGregor was still salty because of his loss to Khabib. It took a while until another UFC fighter spoke against Dagestani fighters and their suspicious relationship with banned substances. Ahead of his fight with Drew Dober, Bobby Green used the media press to go after IslamMakhachev, accusing him of taking so-called vitamins since the age of 10.
I was fucking around on my YouTube, right? And I found this little video, and it said Islam had a little trouble with drugs. But I don't see people talking about him. And so he was saying when he first came over that his school that he trained at in Russia, they just gave him vitamins, you know? They've been doing this since who knows when you start training.
I'm not gonna lie, I do remember this. Like, Islam has been getting heat in general, even by people like Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski has been calling him out for, you know, taking stuff. But at the end of the day, bro, even if he was little in school and they were giving him this stuff, it wasn't in his control, bro, because he was just a kid. So, you know, you can't really put the blame on him for that whole situation because he was just a kid. They probably gave him growth hormones and whatnot. I don't know, bro, just to, you know, make him stronger. But what you're doing nowadays, like what Islam is doing nowadays, and if he still chooses to take those stuff or take other stuff, you know, for athleticism purposes, bro, that's his fault because he's fully aware. His brain is fully developed to understand like the consequences, you know, because steroids are haram and things like that. They're drugs at the end of the day, man. And if you abuse them, they could lead to serious problems. So it's haram, bro. Drugs are haram, and you're Muslim taking these things, bro. But when you're a kid, I can understand because it was never in your control. It's just like the people around you giving you these things, telling you to take it. You get what I mean? But let's keep going.
Imagine if you gave someone steroids from the age of 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, how strong you would be. There's two people that I moved around with. I'm not gonna say their names, but I was like, that's interesting. I moved with thousands of guys. That was interesting. I told my coach the same thing. There was something interesting about Islam, and I felt it.
This raised a couple of eyebrows because it seems like any fighter that comes out of Dagestan is just running through the competition with very few having anything to offer to their aggressive style of wrestling and unlimited conditioning.
Islam was saying when he grew up, they would just give him supplements. They would just, in Russia, they would just give all the athletes supplements. They don't know what the fuck they're taking.
Yeah. 13,
14, 15. So maybe that's why he feels so fucking strong.
I wouldn't be surprised, but like, anyone who grapples for their whole life, you feel Bryce Meredith, dude. It's
Bryce
like,
feels,
holy
yeah,
fuck,
that's
they're
true.
just so fucking strong because they're so used to.
Did Bobby wrestle though? Like, didn't he wrestle or no?
Bobby wrestled.
So he's felt that.
Yeah.
But he said Islam felt like something he's never felt
Like a freak,
before.
yeah. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. There's a reason why Russia got banned from the Olympics and shit.
However, Islam disregarded any accusations and credited his strength and skills.
And I'm not gonna lie, you can't deny it, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. It's just pretty obvious that sometimes IslamMakhachev looks like he's staring out in space, like he has some sort of CTE, or he might be slow when it comes to his brain, bro. Because, like, I don't know if it's all the stuff they've been giving him as a child, but at the end of the day, bro, that does affect you. You know what I mean? If they're they're giving you these stuff as a child, bro, it affects you in the near future. It might give you benefits, a lot of benefits when you get older, but at the end of the day, bro, there's there's cons to these things. You get what I mean? There's cons, and you might gain something, but another thing in your body has to pay the price. So let's keep going.
Training his whole life without giving up on cheap pleasures of life, such as drinking and partying, unlike other fighters.
I'm not like Bobby Green. Like, I'm not drunk, do some bad stuff. I training hard, that's why. All the fighters say I'm gonna defend his wrestling, like if he take me down, I'm gonna go up. But when fight is happening, when I take down my opponent, they all feel my power and they all stop, That's why. This is not because I'm good, because I training all my life, that's why.
Following his victory against Alexander Volkanovski back in February in Perth, Australia, he has been accused of using a banned IV treatment to rehydrate before the bout. USADA introduced the ban on IV drips because they contributed to high amounts of weight cutting and were also used to mask performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, bro, and also people were calling him out during his first fight with Volkanovski. Everybody were calling him out for this. And it really wasn't looking good at all, bro. You get what I mean? It's bad.
Today, UFC fighters can face bans of up to 2 years for using IV drips without a medical reason. If Hooker's accusations prove to be true, UFC would have to strip Makhachev of his title and give him a 2-year suspension. However, there is another rule that states if IV infusions are less than 100 milliliters per 12-hour period, fighters are allowed to use them to rehydrate ahead of their match.
And I'm not gonna lie, bro, a lot of we all know IslamMakhachev has a crazy weight cut. Same with Khabib, but like, you get what I mean? Like, IslamMakhachev's weight cut has always been like insane. You get what I mean? He has to cut a massive amount of weight. He has trouble weight cutting, but he always ends up making weight, right? He always makes weight, but at the end of the day, his weight cut is crazy, bro, because he's a big guy. He could probably easily fight at 170 or 185, bro. Who knows? But I mean, I'm not surprised if any of this is really true, because apparently there was proof, but he was never actually caught red-handed. But I don't know, man. Let's keep going though.
Dagestanis' controversies around PED use have been out of the news until the Bellator lightweight champion Usman Nurmagomedov was suspended for 6 months and fined $50,000 for testing positive for a prohibited substance. Bellator didn't strip him of his title, but his last win over Brent Primus from Bellator 300 has been overturned to a no contest. This caused more outrage from the MMA community and raised more speculations around Dagestanis' efforts to maintain a clean sport. It didn't take long for McGregor to go after them on Twitter. I am not one bit surprised upon hearing another of the Nurmagomedov team testing positive for steroids. Hypocrites of the highest order. He then followed with more brutal insults. However, another thing that makes this even more suspicious is that USADA is sending their countrymen to fighters' camps to do the testing. This means they will most likely be fans of them, or possibly have some connections with the people inside, making it much easier for fighters from Dagestan to pass a drug test than for someone who lives and trains in the US, where testing would be a lot more regulated. Also, we have to note that they aren't afraid of cheating the system, as we saw in an example of suspicious IV use with Islam. Another thing worth noting is that there were many such cases where they missed weight by a couple of pounds to gain an unfair advantage. Khabib's team is known for huge weight cuts and usually fighting in a division under their natural weight. But because losing 20% of their purse doesn't affect them due to funding they get from Russian oligarchs for representing their country in the UFC, they won't drain themselves of another couple of pounds. Israel Adesanya was the one to bring this up.
These motherfuckers that are making weight, some of them are gangsters. They're making money outside the UFC. 30% is not enough. They don't care. It's cheating. Please, make it 80%. These motherfuckers had 90 minutes to finish making their weight. They didn't. They didn't. You know why? They're bitches. Hey.
However, someone else also abused the flawed system of the UFC, just in a different way. So check out my deep dive on Sean O'Malley.
But yeah, man, it's not looking good at all. And you know, as soon as anything comes out, anything negative comes out about the Nurmagomedov team, bro, Conor McGregor's on it. You get what I mean? He's on it, and that's what you want to avoid, because Conor, it has a big name, has a big following. So whenever he tweets anything in general, even if it's not that big, millions of people are still gonna see it. You get what I mean? So if it's something about you, bro, you know, getting caught for steroids, now it's like, okay, everybody's gonna see it and like actually do their digging. So you know, like, bro, it's not looking good for the Nurmagomedov team at all, bro. But you know, he even, I'm pretty sure he even admitted that they were giving him supplements, not only him but other kids too when he was little. And that ends up, bro, we all know, when you give something to a child, right, it's gonna affect them when they get older, bro. You get what I mean? That was the whole point. That's why they gave him that in the first place, like growth hormones or whatever it might be, bro. You know, it made him stronger, it made him a beast. That's why he's champion today, right? He's a good fighter. You know what I mean? And he's really strong. You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, bro, that strength, when you get strength, bro, you get what I mean? There's a price to pay, bro. Like, okay, you gain something. Like, for example, right, you might gain something. Okay, I gained strength, but another part of your body has to pay the price. Like, you get what I mean? Like, let's say your brain, you might even lose brain cells, bro, because I'm not even trying to bully IslamMakhachev, but it's pretty much obvious that the dude, he even gets bullied by people just because, not even bullied, they just point out the fact that he's literally staring in space. In the most random moments, he's staring in space with his mouth open, bro. And it's weird. It's really weird. You get what I mean? Like he has CTE or something, bro. But without further ado, gonna end the video here. Let me know what you guys think and subscribe for more content, man. Peace out.